welcome you back to In Focus. Now, in October 2009, David Bahati, a member of parliament in Uganda, introduced Uganda's Anti-Homosexuality bill, proposing something called aggravated homosexuality in that it could be a capital offense. The measure sparked worldwide controversy. With me here now in the studio, I'm pleased to say, is David Bahati himself, author of the bill. We welcome you to the studio, Mr. Bahati.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And then in our New York office, we're joined by Paul LeGendre. He's with the Human Rights First. Hello, Mr. LeGendre. Thank you for joining us.
Hello. Thank you for inviting me.
You're so welcome. I'm going to start off with you, Mr. Bahati. First of all, what's the status of this bill? It was introduced in 2009. We heard a lot about it, and it seems to have gone quiet. Where do things stand?
The bill is still with the Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee, waiting debate and consultation, and we hope that after elections in Feb, it will come for debate in the whole House.
Okay, obviously you are aware of the controversy that this bill has sparked. Essentially, though, the bill, by prohibiting same-sex relations, aims to protect the traditional family from what it states. And also it says that same-sex attractions are not innate or immutable characteristics. Obviously, that's a point that a lot of Ugandans share, but not many in the Western countries. What is it that you feel is not being heard by them about what you are trying to propose?
We have a problem of recruitment by homosexuals in our country, trying to bring in money to lure young people into homosexuality. And this is something that we think should stop. And this is the whole purpose of the bill. I know there has been spin negative propaganda about this bill, that the bill is intended to kill gays. That is not true. The bill is intending to protect the children and protect the family. It has nothing to do with killing gays. It's a proposal in Parliament. It can be adjusted, it can be rejected, and can be adopted. I hope that it will be adopted by the people of Uganda, because 95% of Ugandans do not support homosexuality. I know that this is a human right in America and other countries. They should also, as we debate this issue, try to respect us as we respect them, tolerate us, and also understand the background where we come from. We come from a culture that is strong in God, a culture that's strong in tradition, and that's a culture represented in Parliament.
I'd like to get you in on this conversation now, Mr. LeGendre, if you could weigh in on that point specifically. And also maybe you can start off by the basis, the recognition by Uganda that homosexuality is innate and immutable.
You know, I think, first of all, let me just say that the rights of lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, intersex people are fundamental human rights. And this bill, in a fundamental way, violates those rights by discriminating against people based on sexual orientation, gender identity, through imprisonment and execution. I have a copy of the bill in front of me, and it does exactly those things. I disagree with the premise that this bill is about investigating the innateness of homosexuality or family values or protecting children. It seems to me that it's not about cultural differences. This is about a violation of human rights. It's about bigotry and discrimination. There are plenty of Africans and Ugandans who disagree with Mr. Bahati's approach, who are speaking out in favor of the rights for LGBTI persons. There's a Ugandan bishop in the United States at the moment who is speaking out in favor of tolerance and respect for their rights. South African Archbishop Desmond Tutu has been very profound on this issue, claiming that lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgendered people are part of the human family, part of God's family, and part of the African family. So I believe this needs to be viewed from a human rights point of view and removed for the fact that it violates fundamental rights.
We'll come back to you shortly, Mr. LeGendre. So what about these allegations that maybe it's going too far, suggesting that imprisonment of up to 10 years, even the death sentence for those who knowingly spread HIV/AIDS, but also have gay relations with people with disabilities and also minors? What do you say to Mr. LeGendre's point?
Well, I know that homosexuality is a human right in some countries, but also the world needs to understand that's not a human right in other countries. And in Uganda, we believe that it's not a human right. We believe that God's purpose for man was for procreation, and we are very strong in this as much as we respect the international law. Well, it is true that we provided for the death sentence. This is a proposal, and the whole purpose was to cater for an adult who defiles a minor. And this is consistent with the law that we passed in 2007, where a man who rapes a girl who is below 14 years is going to face a punishment of death. It's consistent with that law. But we have heard the cry of the outside world. As I said, it's a bill that it is under consideration, and should the Committee of Parliament think that the stakeholders need this thing to get out, I will consider and move forward.
Now, Mr. LeGendre, I'd like to, of course, this is the first time you're actually sharing a platform with Mr. Bahati, and I'm curious to hear from you what you think is what you want him to understand from a human rights perspective going forward.
Well, I would like him to understand that he claims to be moved by protecting the rights of children, protecting family. I think this bill and its passage and implementation would destroy families. It would destroy Ugandan society. Some of the provisions in the bill you've talked about are death sentences for people who engage in aggravated homosexuality. There's also life imprisonment for the very act of homosexuality, but there are two other provisions that are also destructive, not just to the LGBTI community, but to society as a whole. One involves the promotion of homosexuality. Someone who is engaged in that could be sentenced to 7 years in prison.
Mr. LeGendre, I really apologize. We've run out of time, but I think this is the beginning of a longer conversation to come. We really appreciate you making the effort to get to our New York studios. That's Mr. Paul LeGendre with Human Rights First. And of course, in the studio with us, Mr. David Bahati, Member of Parliament for Uganda. It's been a pleasure, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, take care.
You.